Hey, it's Mike from Maker Moose here. Today I'm going to be doing some quick holiday cards. Most of these are techniques that you can use for any card. I have a lot of holiday cards to be making. So I'm going to go through some of my time-saving things that can be mixed and matched for any of the projects, and is a great thing to do year-round if you'd like to speed up your card making. Some of you may know that I have a box of pre-made backgrounds where I'll want a specific background. I'll use an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and I'll only use a quarter of it for a card, and then I store the other ones away. We're going to do some of that today. I have some, this is Craft Store brand, I think it's Recollections, shimmer paper that I was using for a project that I took out too much and didn't bother putting it away. So we're just going to grab some of these. I've got my splat box, which you can just use a regular piece of cardboard if you like. Let's start with the red one here. This isn't going to contain the whole thing. If I had a box, I would probably grab a new one. So I've got some distressed mica stain here. These are the sets that came out either in 2022 or 2021. Alright, so while those mica spray stain backgrounds dry, I've got a couple embossing folders I bought on sale end of last season. So obviously I think I bought them in January or February, so I didn't use them. I always like to use embossing folders. I love how quick it is to make a really impactful background. So for these I've chosen two colors. I've got Hero Hues Shamrock here and Hero Hues Arctic. Obviously, you can choose any color, any type of cardstock you want. This is a really thick cardstock. I've actually never used it for embossing folders before. I'm going to try without spraying it with water. Sometimes to help the cardstock adapt to the embossing folder, you want to spritz it both sides, but I'm just going to try it without. I'll try it first with this one here. So this is no water. We'll see how it looks. Oh, it's perfect. Look at that. So this, like I said, I will cut in half and then have two landscape card fronts. So yeah, we've got two landscapes, two portraits, and then these can go either way. I might even give these a little spritz with the micro distress spray stain, or I might use a little bit of, I don't know what color is in there right now. Just a light brush on the flakes here with whatever color is in my brush. I could also take some solar paste or lunar paste and just rub some on with a brayer or my finger. Look at that. Already, like that with a sentiment or a little critter in the center, and I think that's good to go. I actually really like that. I'm going to do one more of the exact same. There we go, that's better. So just having that slight shading around the sides makes a really big difference. You can see there. Yeah. And if I were to be mounting something in the center here, let's say I had an oval or something, I could also shade the oval, the outline of whatever it was I was putting there. And that could make a huge difference as well. So I'll get my next background set up and I'll see you shortly. For my next set of backgrounds, I've got some Neenah Classic Crest here, and you can use Hammermill, Bristol Smooth, whatever blending cardstock you like to use. I've got some layering stencils here from Tim Holtz. This one is called Pine Cones, and this one's called Poinsettias. Alright, for this stencil here, the Pine Cones, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to tape it down. I was hoping I'd have room for a third, but I might not because I kind of smudged that over there. And then I'm going to go over the whole thing with solar paste. Then we're going to go in with some Crocodile Tears solar paste. And last stencil I'll use, I've got the mini stencil set 19, again from Tim Holtz. And then those spots where the berries are supposed to be, I've got some Christmas red stickles here. Alright, so there we've got 3 different backgrounds, all inked, and then all with some sort of shine. So we've got a lunar paste on top of this one, we've got solar paste on here, and we've got stickles on here. Alright, I've got some watercolor paper here and my Kuretake watercolor paints. So I'm going to take a flat watercolor brush. That's it. So that's just a couple quick backgrounds. You could also watercolor something if you're actually good at watercoloring. I am not. Last year I did a bunch of these cards here, which again were quite simple. A little wash, a snowflake, and a sentiment on a mat. I did quite a few of these. I really like this one. But I've got a background stamp here from Hero Arts. I like this one. It says fa la 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 over and over and over again. Because there's so much text on here, and I really, really want it to show up, I'm going to be using it in a stamp positioner. So I've got some Hero Hues cherry cardstock here. I'm going to cut this into 4 card fronts. I think I will be using archival ink for this. This is just jet black. Background, I've got a Simon Hurley peel apart background here. I'll be using some fake plant here, but any green would do. Your favorite green. I'm just going to go in with some water and paper towel. I'm just going to clean off the berries there. So this is where now I will take out the peel apart. So I took out the little berry there. And we'll just try and get that. This obviously wouldn't be as quick a background as some others, but again, I'm just going for something a little different here. A little more unique. I'm not going to do this for every one that I do. I just thought it would be fun to try. Okay, so there we are. Multicolored background. just for comparison, what a difference that makes, eh? So this was stamped and sprayed. This was just stamped. So let's say take some of that shimmer cardstock. Since we've got nothing to lose, let's try a second generation one. And last stamp background we'll do is the Simon Hurley Evergreens. You know what, I do think I want to do one tone on tone. But again, I think it's going to be gray on gray instead of green on green, which I think is what people would expect me to do. I don't use a ton of gray cardstock, but this is a Recollections pack from Michaels called Architecture, and it's got some good stuff. All right, so we have so many stamp backgrounds. Stamping is one of the quickest ways to make backgrounds, as long as you have background stamps. If you had to use the same stamp over and over, obviously it wouldn't go as quickly as a one-time print here, but there are some of the different ones that we got from our background stamping. I really love these and then we also have these absolutely gorgeous. I love that. And actually the solar paste is showing up really well on camera right now. It might be because of my mix of daylight and artificial light, but I absolutely love that. You don't see the color shift so much on camera, but oh my gosh. And then we've got the just green inked with the stickles. Then we've got the two-tone poinsettias with the lunar paste, and that was in the fake plant. This was in the Crocodile Tears solar paste. We also have the color washes. I love that gold. It shimmers so nicely. This was, I believe, the champagne colored one. This was blue on blue, which I absolutely love. And again, it looks very different. Like, it looks very subtle in person. On camera, it's showing up very, very deep. Like, yeah. It looks more like that in person than that. It just looks like a hot mess, but it does not look like that, I promise you. There's the red. And, oh, this was the light gray. I'm not sure what. Again, this one looks better in person than it does on camera. Just the way some of the light catches. This one's still very, very wet because there was a lot on it. This is the red on the green. You can see it's wet. Last but not least, and actually probably my go-to, is embossing folders. So these are the two that we left plain. These are the ones that we inked. What a difference that makes, hey? Just beautiful. These are the two. This is the inked one, which again, it's very hard to see on camera. It's easier if I hold it right over the green, but we just inked the edges there to give it a little more depth. But we got so many different options. Now, if I just wanted all of them to be this pattern, I could do that in different colors of ink on different colors of paper and have variety. I've got 40 backgrounds just from the stamp stencil, and the stencil they're not very big unless I cut them up, and the embossed. That's not even to mention I've got another 20 or so from the sprays. So you can make these backgrounds so quickly. You can get quite a lot of variety in this one. I think this one could also just be fun as strips as well. Like, I could cut that into strips, maybe 4 strips, to put in the like as a belly band on a card or something like that. And then that's increased from one panel. I've now got 4 different cards. So there's a lot of options here. So I'm going to let everything dry here. The stamped images on the shimmer paper, I do find sometimes need some heat in order to get those helped along. I'm going to leave them for a few hours, see how they do. If they're still a little wet, then I'll go in with the heat gun. But thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, which is going to be all about elements. So having like focal points to put on these cards. All right, we'll see you soon. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And don't forget, it's never too early to get ahead on your holiday cards.